Hi and welcome to a brand new Night of the Jumps original podcast. We're back and we're talking about the upcoming event. This will be the fourth round of the Freestyle of Nations competition. We're coming to Mannheim, Germany. It's been a little while since we've been there, and I can't wait to see what the riders throw down in actually one of the smallest arenas on the tour, probably the second smallest one I've ever seen at Night of the Jumps. And it always makes the course a little bit interesting as well. I'm your host for this podcast and, of course, the commentary host on the live stream. I'm Steve Sommerfeld, and I'll see you guys on the live stream. If you haven't already bought tickets, and if you're in or around Mannheim, if you're in Europe, make sure to jump on nightofthejumps.com and grab your tickets. Now, while we're talking about it, buy your tickets. We're listening in the background, and then you know what's going to happen, what goes down this weekend. I'll also throw up a link to the live stream very, very shortly so you can get notified when it actually happens. Right, so who's going to ride this weekend? We've got three teams. They're all coming back again. We've got the world team, the Czech team, and, well, just a hugely packed team from Spain as well. Let's just go through the riders list and then we'll talk about a little bit more. So for Team Spain, we have the five-time world champion, Maikel Melero, Red Bull X-Fighters champion, an absolute legend of the sport, Dany Torres, and Marc Pinyol, who came out with that inside roll a few years ago, and he's one of those guys who just is not scared to go for anything at any time. You never know what you're going to get when Marc Pinyol turns up to Night of the Jumps. For Team Czech Republic, Petr Pilat, European champion 2017, Filip Podmol, the younger of the Podmol brothers, and he actually just won X-Pilots about 2 weeks ago, and Matej Cesak, the young gun, who's just on fire right now, and I expect this, well, not that I expect, but I can see a big future for this kid as well here in Europe. And for the world team, this is absolutely full of talent. On his home turf, Luc Ackermann, the world champion, the X Games gold medalist, and one of the craziest guys to ever ride a dirt bike. Some of the tricks he does just blows my mind. Rinaldo, former world champion 2013, I think it was, and the only rider to ever do a backflip with a body varial. It's called the Malachi flip, and he got an X Games gold medal for that. And the third rider for the world team, unbelievable, the triple backflipper who won Nitro World Games, Harry Bink, and he even just picked up a bronze medal at X Games only about 3 or 4 days ago. Man, this is going to be a crazy competition. The mountain bike, BMX, and scooter riders, who have we got? Well, Simon Godziak. We've got Nico Schultz, Nico Koffig, Josef, I forgot his last name, Leon Binkerbank, and Richard Zelinka on the scooter. So we've got a lot of talent there as well. So what are we going to expect in this competition? If you've never seen Freestyle of Nations before, let me give you a quick, very, very quick rundown, because I guess most people here, if you're listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube, you already probably know. So every rider gets one run. That's it. There's no qualifications. There's no finals. For the run, this is it. Everything in 90 seconds, throw it down, and you've got your double up as well, which is worth double the points. Then we have a few different disciplines because this is a teams event. It's the World Team Championship. It's the Freestyle of Nations. So we want to see who can throw down the best tricks in a team with their buddy, basically. So we've got synchro competition, 2 riders jumping the exact same time in one direction and in a train on the way back. How does the synchro work? How does the train work? Do they go with the exact same tricks in one direction, or do they mix it up and go, for example, a ruler and a ruler flip? Or do they go for, I don't know, different tricks that just complement each other? That's their decision. We also have the best whip competition, and that's one of my favorite events, of course, at every single event. We love seeing huge whips. Sometimes they go well, and sometimes, like Matej Cesak showed in Berlin this year, I think it was the second round, the second night, when his KTM 300 just exploded as he was trying to bring himself straight after getting inside out, back to front, and inside out. I usually throw 3 in there. Man, I'm off my game today. Anyway, whatever. The guys are going to be on their game, and they'll have to be because we've got the best trick competition at the end of the night. The final thing, best trick. And with that list of riders, I'm actually a little bit nervous about what might happen in best trick. This could be absolutely insane. So looking at the teams, looking at how it works, it is a team competition. There is also the solo competition. Right now, Luc Ackermann, he's sitting in first place. He has won, he's won all 3 rounds. And he only just beat Melero in Munich. I think it was about 1 point the difference. So Luc Ackermann still sitting in first place overall in the solo. In the teams event, you have to think about what tricks complement each other. Who has the best whip? Send them out to do the best whip comp. Who's the best side by side? Who rides together and has the same kind of style? Or who wants to throw different tricks in that it actually just all makes sense? And who's got the best trick? You have to think of all these things as a team if you want to win this competition. And the best whip, the synchro, those comps actually, they're like joker rounds. So the team will get 100 points for first, 75 for second. Wait. No, that has changed. That has changed. Throw all of that out. That's what it used to be. It's now different. It's now 100 for first, 80 for second, and 65 for third, because we found there was just such a big difference. If you were to be winning, or if you got third in those joker rounds, there may not be a big difference, but man, it blew the points out big time. And it became almost not unfair, but it could be. So the points have been changed just a little bit. The judges and the riders came together and had a chat about it, and that's what we've decided on. So there you go. There's got to be strategy when it comes to the teams event. There's got to be strategy when it comes to the individual riders throwing down their best tricks in their run. And then what do they hold off on to win the best trick competition at the end of the night? That is the part that I love to see. What's the bit that you love to see? Is it watching the 3 riders, let's say from Czech Republic, Petr Pilat, Matej Cesak, and Filip Podmol? I'd probably say Pilat and Matej probably ride the most similar together. So I would assume they would be riding the synchro. Knowing that Filip Podmol just won X-Pilots only 2 weeks ago, throwing down a double backflip to beat Rob Adelberg and Taka Higashino, 2 of the biggest riders in the world. Filip just beat them in Mexico at X-Pilots 2 weeks ago. Is he going to come with this newfound of motivation and like, I can win this? Like, I'm not playing for second. I'm here to win. Does Filip just run through here and go straight into best trick? I don't know. For the Spanish team, Maikel Melero, 5-time world champion. He has just about every single trick in the book. And he had to learn all of those. Otherwise, he wouldn't have won the World Championships. The World Championships, that favors the riders who have the most variation. And the most variation with the most style. Now, Melero got every trick on. He put it on lock. He could do all of those tricks. If it's a front flip, if it's a flare, if it's a body varial, the Cali roll, his regular tricks, the upright tricks. He had everything locked down that nobody could beat him. So coming into the freestyle runs, Melero already is looking good. He's going to get very high points. It's up to 100 in the regular rounds. So Melero can lead the charge there. He's got big tricks for best trick. But does he join Dany Torres? They rode a lot together when he was younger. Dany Torres coming back from the injury retirement. And actually, Dany Torres is coming back. We saw him in Berlin and he surprised everybody, rode fantastic, but he had a couple of small mistakes where he was going for double grab backflips and he just missed it and, had to go into like a seat grab Indy or a heart Indy flip. Not a bad way to avoid a dead sailor, I must add. That was on a KTM 250, which he's ridden almost his entire career. He's now on a Yamaha. So this will be the first time we see Dany Torres in a Night of the Jumps competition riding on a YZ 250 two-stroke. That's it. You've heard it here first. That's what we're going to see. Dany Torres rolling in, the Red Bull X Fighters champion. He has the most starts at Red Bull X Fighters. He has the most head-to-head wins out of any rider ever at X Fighters. And he's back again for Team Spain. And Marc Pinyol, like I said, the guy who invented the inside roll. He's not scared to throw down a Cali roll. He crashed in Berlin on the Cali roll. He brought it to Munich. He landed it perfectly in Munich. The front flip as well. I just saw, he actually just bought a front flip ramp from Tom Pages 2 weeks ago. What does that tell you? That tells me that he's investing in himself and he wants to throw down more tricks in the future. And will we see front flip combos this weekend in Mannheim? I don't know. We will find out. And for the world team, like I said, Luc Ackermann, an absolute beast. The motorbike will do whatever Luc tells it to do. That's basically how it works. He has so much control of throwing that KTM 450 around that if he's doing a ruler flip, that bike will spin and rotate when Luc says it's going to spin and rotate, not the other way around. And we've seen him come out with a double backflip. I think it was on the first night, maybe the first night or was it the second night in Berlin when he overcooked the double, but he brought it all back and he did it again at the very next round. That didn't scare him. We've seen Luc do the biggest 360s. Bilko, arguably the rider who has done the most with 360s and the most variations and combos on the 360s. He's gone out there and said Luc has the best 360 in the game. So that will be interesting to see how Luc goes, especially knowing on his team. They have to work as a team, remember. David Rinaldo, they're competing against each other on the solo points, but they have to work together. David Rinaldo, the backflip body varial, the Malachi flip. He also came to X Games the year after, I think maybe 2 years after, obviously the COVID break there in the middle, and landed the Bobby spin. Will we see a Bobby spin from David? I know he's got front flip combos. David has so much in his bag of tricks. You just never know what you might see from him, just depending on how he feels. And he's one of those riders that just, if he feels it, he's throwing down. If he's not, you know what? Put the brakes on. I don't want to crash. I'd rather go to the next event. He'll still do a damn good competition, but when he's feeling it, that's when he rises to another level that most riders will not push themselves to. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, David's level is already at the top, but when he's feeling it, that's when he gets to the next stage. And I love seeing when you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his posture when he's riding. When he's on, he's on. Keep your eye out for that. And Harry Bink, I'd probably, you know, I'm not sure. I was going to say he's a little bit like David, but no. Harry's already got his game plan sorted out. He knows what he's doing before he comes. He just then needs to execute. So probably having a good night's sleep, making sure the bike's okay, because unfortunately in Munich, the very first time at Night of the Jumps, Harry came and he had a little problem with his bike, and it just popped and farted as he went off the jump. He was going for a one-handed backflip. No, God, a one-handed knack backflip, otherwise called the McFritz, which I did forget about. So thank you very much to John Matthews, one of our fans over in America, for reminding me that's what it was called, the McFritz. One-handed knack. He was going for the one-handed knack in Munich on a backflip. The bike popped, farted, and he somehow got away with probably the ugliest crash. And luckily, the big airbag landing saved. That saved Harry right there and then. There's no question about it. He would have been in a bad way if there was anything other than that big airbag. But I can't say anything other than that. But what did Harry just do at X Games 3 or 4 days ago? He got a bronze medal with that one-handed knack on a double backflip. So let's see what Harry can throw down in Mannheim this weekend. Will he throw down the same trick that just got him a bronze medal? I don't know. Best trick competition, I would assume that's probably where he's going to go with it. Who knows what he's going to do in his run? Nobody knows what Harry's going to do. Only Harry knows, because he's a wizard, and wizards don't give up their secrets, especially when you know Harry Potter had his secrets. So there you go. That is it. That's the preview for Mannheim this weekend, May the 20th. We will be on YouTube again. We'll be on Facebook as well. But if you want to join the chat, because I will be chatting with you guys at home directly from the YouTube chat. It worked out so well in Berlin. That was the first test. We didn't know what was going to happen. We had Robbie Madison come on. We had, I think Pat Bowden might have joined. We had Fred Carrillos. We had riders from all around the world watching. We had you guys, the fans at home, joining us as well, seeing things that I didn't see. I'm watching it live. I don't have the benefit of sitting down with my popcorn and really taking it in. So thank you so much to everybody who joined the chat in Berlin, and it worked even better in Munich. We even had Harry come on and talk about that crash in the break, and I think we're going to do that again. So there's going to be basically no time for me to have a break. Obviously, I'm just sitting here talking right now. This is 16 minutes of blah, blah, blah. I've got 3 hours of this coming up, or 2.5 hours in Mannheim. I won't have a break. I'm going to have, I don't know, maybe I'll find David. Maybe I'll find Luc Ackermann. You tell us, who do you want me to have a chat with out of all the riders? Luc Ackermann, David Rinaldo, Harry Bink, Petr Pilat, Matej, Cesak, Filip Podmol, Maikel Melero, Dany Torres, or Marc Pinyol. Who's the guy you want to hear from the most? And I'm going to find him. I'm going to find him. We're going to have him on in the break of the live stream on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you're able to get there and watch it in real life, because you know what? The world still works that way. Grab your tickets from nightofthejumps.com. There is VIP tickets as well. And actually, I think if you grab yourself the pit pass, you get the magazine, you get all of that sort of stuff. You get the book to get your autographs. You get to come down and meet the riders before the competition actually goes down. And that's one of the best parts. You get to see the ramps up close. You get to see just how gnarly this is. Try and picture jumping off a 23-meter or a 75-foot jump. It's ridiculous. And actually, just speaking about the jumps, I might have said this right at the very start. I was almost wrapping up, but I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to look a little bit like a rider who balked at the ramp, kind of like Kai Haase. He does this all the time. He just kind of cruises around and, I'm going to do this, and he just jumps the ramp. Doesn't think about it. Right. The ramps in Mannheim. Mannheim is the smallest, or one of the smallest arenas on the Night of the Jumps tour. It's one of the smallest arenas on any tour, bar probably a circus. So it is 69.5 meters long. That's all the guys have got to work with. And in 69.5 meters, you've got a 21-meter gap. You need the run-up for the gap. You need the 6 meters that it takes to build a ramp, or 5 meters, depending on which one it is. The gap, the landing, and then the space before you go hitting a wall. There's not much room in 69.5 meters. So at this event, we've brought everything in. We've got the smaller ramps, but they shoot you up. We've got the 8-meter radius, all the Euro ramps. There's no long, flat jumps at this one. This is all poppy, something different. Actually, Harry Bink is probably the rider who won't like this the most. He's an Aussie. He rides the Aussie comp, the 9-meter radius. This is the Euro ramp. This is 8-meter radius. It's shorter. It's poppier. Simple as that. We've got the super kicker where you'll probably see the double backflip. The front flip, we've got the cheetah ramp, rocker ramp, front flip ramp, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. I've spoken a lot about this, and I'm going to... Oh, hang on, I got Rachel coming in. I'm doing a podcast here. Shut the door. Man, it's so hard to get a job done around here. Where was I going with that? Interrupted big time. I was on ramps, super kickers, double backflips. That's what you're going to see. Oh, no, whoa, already got that one done. Front flips. Talking about front flips, the front flip ramp. People talk about a cheetah ramp. I talk about a cheetah ramp. But there's one big difference. I'm not jumping that ramp because that scares the hell out of me. So that to me doesn't say cheetah at all. That says you got one shot. There's no pracky. There's nothing. You jump and you go and you hope to hell that front flip ramp and the mechanism works. There is no cheating about that ramp other than making the front flip easier. But the process of getting to the jump and doing it, man, that's gnarly. It's so gnarly. I've heard riders who do the regular front flips actually say the cheetah ramp scares them. So there you go. And possibly, let's see, we might even have a quarter pipe. Might be the first time we see a quarter pipe in 2023. Like I said, it's a very small arena. If we can fit the quarter pipe in, we'll have it there. All right, I've just been interrupted. It's all happening here. We've hit the 20-minute mark. I'm sure you guys want to just get yourselves ready, get your popcorn and get your drinks ready for this weekend. Saturday night, 7 o'clock in Mannheim. I'll put the links up for YouTube and Facebook if you're not able to come. If you can come, neitherjumps.com. Grab your tickets and we'll see you there.